Of all strange things to happen in the country called Kenya, because currently there are a lot of very strange, bizarre, unexplained things happening, was the recent incident yesterday when a vehicle in the presidential motorcade hit somebody, a foreign national, ikamaliza kabisa. Yeah, they passed on the spot. That one has left many Kenyans with many questions which remain unanswered. On my show today, we're going to take a deeper look at this very strange, bizarre development in our country. By the way, the victim was a British national, not a Dutch national. Yeah, you know, we have a problem in Kenya nowadays in news reporting, where we do not allow the facts to get in the way of the drama we want to portray. It's very unfortunate. The facts must always remain the facts, no matter what you want to get across. Please, bloggers, let's smarten up. You see, the initial reports of a Dutch national were convenient to highlight the drama because there is an expected visit of Dutch royalty to the country called Kenya in a few days. I had master in a school is caught with a 40-year-old woman, a fellow teacher. But then you want to exaggerate and create more drama. And when it is reported, you hear it was a small girl, underage. Not good. Just report the facts as they are. You will allow me, please, to take a very balanced look at this incident. Look at it from both sides of the coin. Look at it in the eyes of security and police protocol, okay? So that we have a fighting chance of getting to the bottom of this. Now, for starters, security protocol for the escort, the security of the President of the Republic of Kenya. Emphasis on the office, not the current holder. Yeah, so please don't throw stones at me. Let us focus. That protocol is very clear about what happens when there is an obstacle on a road on which the president is traveling. That protocol all over the world is very clear. There is no if or in case or whatever, okay? And I shall go into that shortly. There is also the deep mystery of the missing policeman, okay? The missing policeman who should have been there because the Adams Arcade area is a highly populated area. The missing policeman who should have been there to ensure that that road remains clear until the presidential entourage passes. We shall also dive into that, yeah, and give more detail. And then there is the very disturbing question security experts are asking, yeah, which I'm not sure you'll understand immediately. They're asking, what was the mzungu doing there? What was he doing there? Okay? Now, I will elaborate on that because that is a question that raises a very, very disturbing theory as to what may have happened. Very disturbing. And that too we will cover on this show that I've prepared for you, because I know everybody's anxious, everybody's asking many questions about this incident. So sit tight, we're going to cover all that. But very quickly before we do that, I would like to acknowledge our sponsors, Lemify. And there is some very good news. The cashback rewards have been increased from 10 euros to 15 euros and from $10 to $20. What that means is that if you use this app for sending money, yeah, which has got very good rates, very many advantages, and you use my code Kumekucha, on the very first transaction of 50 euros, you will get a cash back of 15 euros. and on your very first transaction of at least $100 US, you will get a cashback of a whole $20. And so, please, take full advantage of this next time you want to send money somewhere. Okay? Right, let's get this show on the road. Now, the protocol for the President of the Republic of Kenya, if there's any obstacle on the road, if there is anybody on the road, has no debate. It is simply clear the road. Yes, I know it sounds cruel, because clear the road means pita na yeye. Okay? But there's some logic behind it, because you don't know why this person is blocking the motorcade. Chances could be high that this is the beginning of an attempt on the life of the president, and therefore you don't take chances, you clear. This one I cannot forget, because I heard it many times from my late political lecturer, who incidentally was involved in the October 25th, 1969 incident in Kisumu, Kenya. You see, at the time, he was serving in neighboring Kakamega, and is the one who handed over the presidential motorcade to another officer at the border of Kakamega and Kisumu. And that day the policeman had been briefed and reminded very clearly about this protocol. And by the way, he also told of another story that has never appeared in any media anywhere, that actually there was a brief lunch in Kakamega before President Jomo Kenyatta left to the fateful Kisumu meeting that led to the Kisumu massacre. Okay, and of course the whole thing was stage managed. The whole idea being to massacre poor innocent Kenyans. But that is a story for another day. Let us stay on point for today. And therefore, taking this well-known basic protocol into account, what happened yesterday from a security point of view is that nothing happened. Okay, I know that sounds cruel, but that's a protocol, and there is a good reason. And that is why it is very strange that we're getting reports. A driver in the presidential motorcade was arrested and then released on bail. I have a big suspicion that this was done for the benefit of the British government, so that it looks like Kenyans are doing something. Something is being done about this. Okay? And the way the British media have covered it so far, I find more than fascinating. Because the inventors of the English language, some of them are calling it a hit and run. Hey, a hit and run, which implies somebody was hit and the person who did it escaped, did not stop. Now I'm sure we're all aware that considering the speed the presidential motorcade was traveling at that time, if that vehicle had stopped, it would have caused an accident with the vehicles behind it. And in any case, the presidential motorcade usually has police officers, many, on it. Which brings us to some other very important questions. Where were the police officers in charge of keeping the crowd at bay in the Adams Arcade area? Were they missing? Or perhaps this is a route that was taken by the presidential motorcade that had not been planned in advance. If that is so, there is a problem. That is not supposed to happen. And in the unlikely scenario that it happened, you don't travel at the speed the vehicles were traveling at. Well over 120 kilometers an hour. Hey, how do you do that? That is more than dangerous. That is reckless. And now we come to the most disturbing question. What was this mzungu doing there? Because nobody else crossed the road. And even after he decided to cross the road, he should have looked. Although there are some people who are saying that he may not have seen the vehicle on time, because there is a roundabout close to that area. And therefore, considering that the vehicles were going through that roundabout at very high speed, that vehicle must have appeared from nowhere very suddenly. But the reason why this question has arisen among some security experts is because during the tenure of former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, somebody actually stood in front of President Uhuru Kenyatta's motorcade, and the vehicle in the motorcade stopped. Although Uhuru Kenyatta's motorcades did not travel at the speed at which President Ruto's motorcades are being seen speeding all over town. They didn't. And so, these security experts are saying, what if the whole idea was to get the motorcade to stop? And if that was the idea, what was going to happen next? Was there a threat on the life of the president? These are the questions they're asking themselves. And please remember, they're looking at all this from the lens of security. Because one may start wondering, how inhuman are these people? A life has been lost and all that. Yeah, but then security people are always security people. And they always think in those terms. Okay? Actually, these tours of President Ruto all over Nairobi are very strange. Because, sample the following. Everywhere he's going is not receiving a warm reception. He isn't. In a vast majority of the places he has turned up, the reception has been very hostile. And so the question is, why does he keep on doing it? And then in Kibra, the president made some very interesting remarks. He talked about his nicknames and even danced to the song Kasongo, which is one of his nicknames. Now this reveals a very interesting aspect of the character of William Ruto. The nicknames are very obviously getting to him. And so my question is, should they? Because take for instance a teacher or teachers in high schools. They have nicknames, don't they? Do those nicknames get to them? So much so that when they come into class, they start discussing their nicknames? No. They focus on their job. And they focus on doing their job. And so why can't the president focus on doing his job? From his point of view, if people are giving him nicknames, so what? So what? What does it matter? It has been done before in history. Many leaders in history have had nicknames. And some of those nicknames have been nasty. But then a leader who finds themselves in that situation should instead focus on their job, on what they're supposed to do, and ignore the nicknames. But if in the case of President Ruto, those nicknames are affecting him so much, or they seem to be affecting him so much, then over to psychologists and experts in that area who may want to tell us what this means. From the little I know, not something good. It is not something good. And if this thing is in the character of a leader, the people of that country are in more than serious trouble. From the little I know. But then over to the experts. They know and they will tell us in great detail. I take this opportunity to send my condolences to the family of Edgar Charles Fredrick, the Brit who lost his life in this incident with the presidential motorcade. And I believe that State House owe an explanation to the Kenyan people as to why the presidential motorcade needs to travel at such breakneck high speed, what the whole objective is. They need to convince us that it is not just reckless impunity. Now, just before I go, I need to inform you that my very latest special report, it is titled The Next President of Kenya. the next president of Kenya. Because you see, Kenya is the land of entrepreneurs. We have a entrepreneur in office right now. This man has never been employed for long periods of time. He has made his fortune from taxpayers' money. That is not a secret. And therefore we're in a very dangerous, precarious situation. My special report dives deep into the many dangers, into the many powerful forces who are trying their best to plant candidates, to pull things in their direction, so that when the dust settles, they will have an advantage. This is a very dangerous situation for Kenya. There is absolutely no doubt about that. Now you can see details on the screens right now. To get this highly sensitive, very detailed special report will cost you only Kenya shillings 3,999. Okay? I suggest that you act fast, because as usual, the slots are very few. This is not for everybody. But if you're one of those followers of this channel who always wants to ensure that they have a front seat on what is really going on in the country, then I suggest that you move with speed and get this very latest special report of mine. Of course, I'll do you the courtesy of also sending you all the previous highly sensitive special reports. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.